Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening and welcome to Read You Later, a fun, captivating show that discusses the best in publishing, arts, spirituality, and political endeavors. And tonight we have a lit show for you, ladies and gentlemen. We will bring you some of the best women that will get you inspired, invigorated, and will tell you how to get back to your happy. So hold on to your seat. Take good notes. If you need to unwind, unwind. If you need to shout, you shout. If you need to scream, you scream, because we're all about getting ourselves free in 2018. So without further ado, I want to bring to you my first guest for the night. Then let me tell you about this young lady. She's been on the show another time, but it was with a group of other young ladies when she first was a contributing author to her anthology, and now she's back. She's solo, and she's just as powerful as ever. So I would like to welcome back to Read You Later the dynamic Michelle-Chavi. Michelle, welcome back to Read You Later.
Thank you, LaShera. I'm glad to be here again.
Now, Michelle comes off shy, but honey, she is no. She is not a shy person. She is a bulldog when it comes to helping other people recognize their purpose. She's known as a purpose pusher, and it is her time to shine. I will say that Michelle has us in this little group, and she gives us motivational speeches and tell us things each and every day, and that's what we have to do. As women, we have to really encourage one another. And in this day and time when you see so much political unrest and you see that some of our spiritual leaders are perhaps getting involved in things that are unethical or some would deem immoral, and a lot of times we become despondent and disenfranchised over various things. So we need encouragement during our day. It's enough shade to be thrown. It's enough negativity to be had. So it's wonderful when we can get together and encourage one another. So, Michelle,
Amen.
Can you tell us the title of your current project?
The title of my current project is Arise and Conquer. You are the commander of your day. It's a devotional. And that's basically what it's about. It's telling you that no matter what you go through, when you get up in the morning, arise that morning and conquer your day. You are the commander. Our words have power. Our words create our atmosphere. What we put out, that's what we're going to get. Life, death and life is in the power of the tongue, and those that love it,
Amen.
So we have to be conscious about what we speak and about what we say, because that's going to shape our day. If we get up, in the morning, it's about to be a bad day. And you know what? It is going to be a bad day. Oh, my head is killing me.
Exactly.
Okay, it's going to kill you. Like, I believe wholeheartedly the power of words and being positive and not negative. And no, I just believe, because no matter what, my motto, as long as you have a pulse, you have a purpose. So if God gave you breath to wake up another day, he's not through with you. So if you're here for a purpose, get up, thank God, praise God, and be positive. In the midst of, we have to be content in all things. No matter how we feeling, be content in all things.
I totally agree. And I think it's also very important that we help others shape their mode of thinking and their train of thought and the words they say. Like when people always tell me life is too short, I was like, honey, no, life is too long to be miserable. So I do not tell anybody around me. I say, no, we're going to talk about long life. Then I say, I know what kind of day this is. I said, I know that's right. I said, it's going to be a blessed day. And we have to be mindful of that, because sometimes, and people, they don't do it with any ill intention, but we're so used to saying these idioms, and we're so used to saying little things that we've heard and we've learned from our parents and aunties and things of that nature, and we don't even know what we're saying. Like I'm always, sharing job information or something with someone. I was like, I think they'll be a good fit for someone. And I have people say, I'm not qualified for it. I was like, girl, you better train that thought. I said, you know what?
That's right.
Oh, no.
That's right.
You are qualified. So, even among, and these are believers. Sometimes they're people who are in leaders in ministry, but it's just like what we're accustomed to saying. We're so quick to down who we are and what we do, because people often see that or perceive that rather as, someone has a big head. No, you can be humble, but you also can celebrate who God has made you.
Exactly. I had somebody at work the other day to they say good morning. Most people say good morning. I've always been a person that say great morning. And he was like, great, what's great about it? I said, it's great. Great to me is get really excited about today. I'm happy. It's great. It's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to be seen and not viewed. Somebody's being viewed today.
Exactly.
I'm being seen. It's a difference.
Amen.
You better catch that thing.
Mm-hmm. You better catch it and take heed. Now,
You better catch that thing. It's a great day.
You better, girl. Yeah, that's right. Now, Michelle, what can people find in your book? What do you want people to take away when they read your book?
When they read my book, I want them to be empowered and know that never underestimate God's presence based on your predicament. Because as long as you have a pulse, you have a purpose. I don't care what you go through. If you have a pulse, you have a purpose. And never underestimate God's presence based on your predicament. Because people feel like when they're going through bad times, God is not there. God is there. God is like the wind. You can't touch him, but he's there. You can feel the wind, but you can't put your finger on it. God is there, honey. He will never leave you or forsake you. He's there. He is there. Trust him when you can't trust him.
Michelle, for my listeners who may not have had the opportunity to read your previous book, and in the book you pretty much give a testimony to how you have gotten to this place. So can you give us a general overview of your first book, when you contributed as an anthology, and how you were able to come to this place of peace?
Okay, the first book was an anthology written by my book club, Victorious Ladies Reading. Whoop, whoop, I love them. The book is called Turning Trials into Triumph. My story is elevation, living like an eagle, not like a pigeon. So you have to train your mind to hear what God is saying instead of what the enemy is shouting. Because I've been through. I lost my mom, my dad, and my granddad within 12 days in 2013. And the devil tried to take me out. He tried to make me depressed. He wanted to take me out, but no. Devil, you can't have me. I shall live and declare the works of the Lord. Sickness cannot dwell in me. Depression cannot dwell in me. I had to train my mind. It's all about your mind. You have to train your mind. So that's what it took from me. I had to, and I still do. I had to make declarations. I had to make affirmations. I had to pray. I had to stay at the feet of Jesus, because the devil's not after my past. He's not after my present. He's after my future, because he see what God is about to do. The devil don't care about your past and your present, what you got doing right now. He's trying to stop you from getting to that finish line, getting to the end. No. But he can't have me. No, because I fight. I fight. Put on the whole armor.
I'm with you, because but then reading your books, I would think about spiritual warfare. And a lot of people think that spiritual warfare is something that happened in the biblical days, but spiritual warfare is an ongoing thing. It occurs on a daily basis.
Thing.
And that's the reason why you have to have your mindset. You have to have your mindset.
Yes,
you have to have some scripture in you. My grandma used to say, baby, I always have some word in you. And I didn't know what she meant when I was 7 and 8. I ain't be honest with you, honey. I didn't know what she meant when I was 21 until I went off to college and met some crazy people. And I kept going back to what, you know me. You know, I always say my grandma, baby.
Right, your grandma.
But, you know, it's those words. And it is those prayers of her that I believe that I am living out now. It's because of that word and what she spoke over me and what she spoke into me. And that's why it's so important to have people who will do that for you. And it doesn't have to be someone who knows every scripture or every book in the Bible by heart, but it's someone who has a heart for God and has a heart for
That's
people.
right.
And Michelle is that person. She has a heart to want to see others do better, especially women. Now, Michelle, why do you feel like that you are called to a women's ministry?
Michelle, I never said I was called. I never said I was called. I never said
well, you know
I was
what?
called, but
I don't think. Well, Michelle, I'm tell you, what you do is generally ministry, and I think sometimes people think that it has to be the confounds of those four walls. My grandma always said, baby, you have to go out of those walls. And so what we do every day, all of us have a ministry. It may not be that we have a title, may not be that we have a building, but the Lord wants us to do work. And you most definitely do the work.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, that's what you do, because you encourage, you uplift, and you invigorate. And that's what the Word wants us to do. And you also witness. So that's a ministry. You may not have the title, but then again, you do use a title. We're going to talk about that later. But what you do is a ministry. So how do you feel, or what compels you on a daily basis to go out and to teach and to witness and encourage others?
I just love people. I really love. I have a heart for people. Because it's so many women, tearing women down, men tearing women down, and we have to uplift each other, motivate each other. Like, we all have something we can bring to the table. Like, you can bring spaghetti, I can bring cornbread. We all got something to bring to the table. It's no competition. I'm not about that. I'm all about seeing everybody win. When Jacqueline Carr said, everything attached to me wins, you better believe if you're attached to me, you're going to win.
I know that's right.
Because I'm going to make sure you win. I'm going to see you win. I'm going to help you win. Whatever you need to do, I'm going to help you win. Come on, like, that's my purpose. That's my purpose, is to help others win. God didn't put me here for me. I'm a chosen vessel.
Exactly.
God didn't put me here for me.
Now,
everything I went through, it wasn't for me. It was for other people.
Now, speaking of a chosen vessel and speaking of purpose, can you tell us about your new apparel line that you have been flaunting around social media, and how we can purchase your apparel, and how we also can purchase your books?
Okay, I'm so excited about the apparel line. It's attire that inspires, Purpose Pusher Apparel. And you can visit my website at www.thepurposepusher.com. And we have shirts and slouch shirts and joggers and scarves. And I have some more stuff I'm working on that's coming. But it's apparel that just inspire you, attire that inspires. My shirts say, as long as you have a pulse, you have a purpose. When people see that, you never know what they're going through. That's a reminder. Like, I saw a shirt that say, when life gets too hard to stand, you kneel. That was a reminder. Like, yes, when I can't stand, I kneel to God. So, yeah, why not?
Amen.
God is moving. To God be the glory. God is moving. I give God all the glory, because I know in my right mind, I probably couldn't have thought of none of this. So he give it to me, and I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to just be used, because God could have chose anybody, but guess what? He chose me, and I'm determined to leave a legacy and not just a headstone.
All right. Well, Michelle, once again, can you give us the contact information of how people can connect with you via social media?
And you can visit me on Facebook, Michelle-Chavi. Instagram, I think it's Purpose Pusher 1 or Purpose Pusher. I'm not sure. I don't really do Instagram. But Twitter is The Purpose Pusher. And my website, of course, definitely is www.thepurposepusher.com.
Well, Michelle, I want to thank you for joining me on Read You Later. And I think I'll see you at the very least twice this month at various events. And
you will.
I look forward to seeing all what God has in store for you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, LaShira. Thanks for having me, and thanks for believing in me. I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. Next,
we have a young lady who's always very busy in the same train, because this month, for the next couple of months, I really want to showcase women and projects and artists that encourage and uplift. And give certain messages. And this young lady is known to uplift, encourage, and to gather a group of people, all for the chosen pen. So I would like to welcome to Read You Later First Lady Norma McLaughlin. Welcome to Read You Later.
Thank you, LaShura. It's nice to be with you this afternoon or this evening now.
Yes, ma'am. Now, Miss Norma thinks that, Miss Norma and I talk quite often. I told her, if anyone listens to my show, it's just like we're going over to Big Mom's house and we're going to chat with our favorite cousins, because she's new to Read You Later, and we're just one big happy family, like to encourage and to celebrate in each other. And Miss Norma has a lot of things going on that we can also take part of, and it's a way that we can encourage and uplift one another. So can you tell me about this big event that you have in the last weekend in February?
Oh, it's an event that I'm just so excited about, LaShura. It's called the Christian Book Readers Weekend. It's scheduled for February 23rd through 24th, for a Friday night and a Saturday, all-day Saturday. Would you like to know our schedule of events? We have let me talk about why we have this, because it's been such a burden, because we have so many ladies in our church who would like to write or are trying to write, and also who have written but don't have an avenue to get people out to know about their books. So this was the reason we came up with the Christian Book Readers Weekend, because we have a lot of local writers who just have not had an opportunity to get their works out there. So hopefully this will be a time that they will be able to do that. But it is scheduled for Friday the 23rd and Saturday the 24th of February. Friday night, we're going from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and we're starting off with a fashion show. And included in that fashion show is a First Lady's design, which is one of my own designs that, again, has been something that I've been trying to do for a number of years. So please, I'm encouraging people to come out and see what I've come up with. I don't know how many designs we'll have in the show, but I'm very, very excited about that. In the second part of the evening, we will be doing Christian vision boards. If you've done vision boards in the past, this may be something that's a little more unique for you, because we're coming at it from a Christian perspective. We've been talking about purpose, walking in your purpose, walking in wherever you're trying to go. But this time we want to write the vision and make it plain. Put it on paper so you know where you've been there and where you're trying to go, and you know when you get there. Saturday, we have an exciting lineup. We're going to start at 8 o'clock. If you want breakfast, we're having a grits bar. So if you want to come, please come early for that. And we have a nice devotional with some choirs that are coming in to entertain us. Well, not entertain us, but give us a spiritually uplifted
minister.
Yes, ma'am. And then from 9 o'clock on, we have several panel discussions. And our first panel is Walking with Purpose, which is will be led by several First Ladies as well as authors. And we have Put on the Right Garment is our second panel, again led by several panelists. And Keeping It Real, I think this is one that we're also excited about. Things that are happening in the church. I'm sure, LaShura, you can jump in here and help me explain some of these.
Yeah. I can. Yeah, Keeping It Real is all about as a body in Christ, and a lot of the church folks, and we know that people, as much as people are going to church, people are also leaving church, and there is some conflict with people about spirituality and religion, which I feel is totally different. So we're going to talk about being godly, being God, remaining saved, and some of the confounds that people perhaps will find in church. But it's going to be a spiritual, uplifting workshop that we want people to engage respectfully and come out with good information and feeling good about themselves, and more importantly, feeling good about who they serve. And the Walking with Purpose workshops are going to be workshops that are purpose-led by God, but will be moderated by WA. but also it will be facilitated by some awesome First Lady and a couple authors that are going to try to get you right, just like what Michelle was saying earlier. Michelle will be on one of the panels, as a matter of fact. Just knowing who you are and who you are. And you know what? It's all right because we all falter. Sometimes we all get off track. I don't care who you are because there are certain things coming, like things that hit us hard, but we're going to be able to bounce back. And what we're going to do is show you tools, and we're going to talk about scriptures and things that will help you. Like my grandma said, baby, if you've never been through something, you won't be able to help anyone else. And so some people, some sisters and brothers who've been through things, they're going to be able to reach back and help others. So we're very excited about that. And also, you also have a guest keynote speaker, First Lady, who will be
our keynote speaker,
encouraging.
Yes, and will be encouraging us at lunchtime. Who is, I guess I'm not sure she's a minister as well. Vanessa Miller Pierce from.
Pierce.
She's been reading. Our group has been reading the Family Business series. So if you haven't read that, please do so by the time she gets here, because we're very excited about finishing up the series. I just received book 5 in the mail today, so that'll be my reading of choice for tonight. Because you were talking about spiritual warfare, and in her books, I mean, she has laid it out probably the best of any author I've read. Because in that book you learn about spiritual warfare and you fight the battles, and you know that God has someone here or on earth working it out for you. And he can see all these things that are happening in the atmosphere that are happening spiritually, and you don't know why they're happening. But you need to stay prayed up and read up so that you can understand how to fight that battle that is not of the flesh but is of the spirit. And she's laid that out very well in her books. And so she's done many books, but these are the ones we're reading in our books.
She's done several books. I want to say, I don't know, I want to say 40 plus. And also there will be a economic component where we can talk about financial literacy. And in addition, we're going to have an award ceremony where we're going to acknowledge some people who have probably been pioneers in inspirational and Christian fiction. My grandma always said, give people their flowers while they're living. So this is going to be a fun event where you can get some worship, you're going to get praise, you're going to get some knowledge, and we're going to have fun. And if you've been to any event that I've moderated, you know I cut up. So I'm going to moderate all day Saturday. So we're going to have fun, and I'm going to make you laugh. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Now,
and we are truly looking forward to having you. Go on, I'm sorry.
I am. Now, First Lady also has a lot of irons in the fire. She's also an author. So can you tell us a little bit about your project that you have on tap?
Well, my first book, of course, is Free to Choose Worthiness. It came out in 2013. Right now I'm in the process of writing several of the updating or pulling the chapters out of this book and doing 6 of these Free to Choose books. So I don't know how many of them will be ready by February, but that's the purpose of hopefully to have them ready. But the Free to Choose is, again, a passion that I've had down through times, and letting ladies know that you have the freedom to choose, and your freedom is to choose God. And into that freedom to choose, you find freedom, and that's the only freedom that you have. And you go through the process of you first have the freedom to choose Christ, and ensuring that you have that salvation and you have a very firm and foundation before you move out to do the other things that God has for you to do. And in this, it's a Bible study. We study free to choose Christ, the free to choose forgiveness, which is a big passion of mine, the freedom to choose God's love, and another big and very important one is the free to choose self-love. And it's one that when we have Bible studies with our ladies, we dwell on for 2 or 3 weeks. Because we really get into this deeply, because we have so many women who do not love themselves and don't know why, and don't know that it's not please love yourself, because God has told you that you need to love yourself because you are the image of God. And if you love God, you have to love yourself because you are him and he's within you. So we talk about that a lot until we can come out that I do love myself. We get to the point where when we look in the mirror, and I tell my ladies, look in the mirror, and they say, okay, who do I see? So you're not supposed to see you, but you're supposed to see Jesus looking back at you. So when you see Jesus looking back at you in the mirror, then you know that you have found your self-love, that you have the love of Jesus and not just about you. And, of course,
all right, and that's something we're going to deal with when we're talking about the workshops as well, self-love, because a lot of times some of the images that we see, the imagery we see in social media and print media and on television don't necessarily show women of color a lot of love. A lot of people think they have to get the prosthetic booties and things of nature. And look, whatever you feel that you need to do for you, I am not judging that. But there are also some young ladies that feel that that's the only way that they can have love or be loved and things of nature. So we're going to talk about that too. I'm excited to talk about a lot of different conversations that sometimes we don't have in the church. We're going to keep it godly, we're going to keep it holy, but we're going to have real frank conversations. And self-love and self-acceptance is so real and so important that we need to have in this day and time. I totally agree. Now, First Lady, let's talk about this chosen pen. I keep seeing this graphic with this pen and cross. So tell me a little bit about this chosen pen.
Okay, well, the chosen, I have lots of burdens, obviously, but chosen pen is another burden that I have for women. I mean, it's also for men because a lot of men have joined our group, but including my husband. But it's for those women who God has called them or God has given them something to write. And I tell them, if God has put a burden on you to write a story or to write a paper, write a journal article, whatever it is, then it's not about you any longer. It's about that person that you're supposed to write for. That person is sitting here waiting for you to write. That message is for someone else. And my whole part of Chosen Pen is to get those people to write what God has given them to write. That mission that woman has, sit down, write it, because there's someone waiting for that message. And if you don't do it, then we have that conversation as well, because you're being disobedient to God. And that person needs it. And again, we say, he's going to get someone to tell them, because he even says that the rocks are going to cry out if you don't. So they're going to get the message, but don't you miss your blessing because you're not doing what God has told you to do. And so that's a lot about Chosen Pen. You've been chosen for such a time as this, and if you're chosen to write, then this is the time for you to do it.
Now, First Lady, how can people register for the event if they want to come as a reader, they want to come as a vendor, or they just want to attend to support and get some of this good information and workshops and things that will come forth through this weekend? So
you can go to my website, which is Chosen Pen, CHOSEPEN.com, and click on events, and all of the registration information is there. Or you can register as an attendee. You can register as an author, or you can register as a business vendor. And right now we have something like 15 or 16 business vendors. So, ladies, you need to bring your money. The shopping is going to be available for our if we have some little in-between time. I think we have 15 minutes that you can shop. Plus, we have some extra time, right? This year somewhere along the way.
Yes.
For that to happen. But, yeah.
Plus people, yeah. As plus people will have it also during the intermission and right after the keynote speaking and at the evening. Yes.
Right.
All right, First Lady. So how can people connect with you on social media?
You can go to
connect with you on social media?
Okay. You can go to my Facebook page, which is Chosen Pen Publishing, or you can go to chosenpen.com, or, of course, you can go to my page, Norma McLaughlin, which is a Facebook page. And, I'm not savvy with all these other ones that I'll have to make sure some of the information up there.
All right. Well, First Lady, we'd like to thank you for coming on Read You Later, and I sure hope that I made this painless. I told you would do a fantastic job, and we look forward to supporting your event.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I hope some of the one was able to get some information that will be needed, and they will see them all on February 23rd and 24th.
All right, thank you,
and I thank
have
you,
a wonderful
for having me. Thank you.
Never a problem.
You too. All right. Bye-bye.
Next with us, we have a dynamite. Honey, this woman preaches and teaches folks up under the table. If you ever have the opportunity to look at some of her church video or anything that she has on social media, she is known to be a powerhouse in the community and also on social media. So I would like to welcome to Read You Later, Dr. Michelle Johnson. Welcome to Read You Later.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, Dr. Michelle has also dealt with a sick baby for the last several days, so I appreciate her coming on because I know as a mom, when your baby's sick, that means you get no rest at all. So I greatly appreciate it. Appreciate you being able to come on, and we all pray that she is doing better.
Thank you. She is much better. Today has been her best day yet, and it's only going to get better from there. And I just appreciate everybody for praying for her and just to keeping our family lifted because this is a really tough flu season. So continue to pray for everybody in the community.
Now, Dr. Michelle Johnson, I think I was introduced to you through Cassandra Durham. She kept talking about this dynamo, this powerhouse woman. I need to look at her videos, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, okay. And then I believe you had an event at the Point. And you had Tasha Cobb that year. That tells you how long ago it was. And I was like, wow, this is an awesome atmosphere, the spirit that you and your spouse had. It was just dynamic. And I was like, this is an awesome woman of God. Now, and I know that you also are very, very passionate about education, Christian education, but so much character education. And you have a lot of different pots that you melt together. What do you feel is your purpose? Because I think that you minister to women, but you also minister to the youth. What is your purpose that you see, how you feel your path is going in 2018?
Well, first of all, I just want to say hello to everybody on Read You Later. This is my first time being on the show, so I just want to honor everyone who's regular listeners, and thank you for having me on. I would say, for 2018, really my purpose and my path, which is the purpose and the path that my husband and I have together because we do this together. We do life together. It's really, it stems from Genesis where God says that we are to have dominion, that we are to subdue the earth. We are to be fruitful and to multiply. And that is everything we do stems from having dominion and subduing the earth. And so what do I mean by that? That means that we're supposed to be taking territory for God, So we're supposed to be claiming some stuff. We're supposed to be inhabiting some spaces. We're supposed to be possessing some stuff. We're supposed to be owning stuff. This earth, it belongs to the Lord, and then He gave us. He gave it to us. He delegated the power and the authority over to us so that we're supposed to not just be merely participants, but we're supposed to be purchasers and owners and renovators. We're supposed to possess the land. So everything that we do is with that type of mindset, whether it is, geographically, through ministry, how much territory can you win for Christ? Educationally, how many minds, how many schools can you build? All of those types of things are about taking territory for God, saying that this person or this building or this address or this region belongs to God, and we're going to multiply His glory in that land or in that territory. So that's what we're doing. That's our purpose. for 2018, 19, and until God changes it, until He tells us to do something else. That's where our heart's desire is.
Now, listening to you, I think kingdom mindset. And often we say that, often we hear it, often we even read it in various statements or on a church program or on a PowerPoint. But you're really living and walking in it, and you are expressing how other people can live and walk in it. Because you're setting a blueprint, if you will, of how to go about and encourage and acquire territory. And you do everything of excellence. When I had the opportunity to visit your old school, I was just impressed of the excellence around us. Because if we're honest, a lot of times as people of color, our businesses or our churches or our schools or what have you, sometimes they're deemed as inferior or they don't have the aesthetics that other people would deem to be worthy. But you did everything of excellence. And when I say that, I don't want people to get it twisted and think that I'm talking about you have to spend X amount of dollars. But my grandma always say, baby, you can make a dirt floor polish because what you have, make sure it sparkles. And that really did impress me. And the stories that came from your school, how young men and young women who perhaps had some trouble in traditional school settings, they probably felt that they were being put down, and the families thought that people were talking down to them, and they may have had some difficulty in school and striving for excellence. But when you put forth excellence and you speak excellence and you show that love and you show that sincerity, it comes across, and that really comes across in everything that you and your spouse what you're doing and what you're continuing to do. So I want to congratulate you for that, but I also want to celebrate you for the job that you're doing.
Well, we have to give honor to those who work with us because we have amazing people. We have an amazing team. We have a people of God who have been soldiers and really disciples and whose hearts are in the right place. We have those who we employ and who sit under teaching and who take in, what we're trying to teach and the standard that we're trying to uphold. So it really is about, because, two people can't do all of what we're doing. It really does take a people. It does take a team. It takes a people. And that's what we're creating. We're creating a people of God who represent the glory of God. So when you talk about, excellence, and that's key, excellence in standards, you can walk through our school and you can see signs on the wall that says we have standards, right? And really what that standard is it's just merely God's glory. That's what we're talking about. That when you do things, God doesn't do anything that doesn't represent His glory, right? The glory of God has to shine through with what you're doing. So that's what we're talking about, and I pray that our attempt every time that we do something, whether it's a concert, whether it's a community event, whether it's a workshop, a marriage symposium, whatever it is, I pray that God's glory shines through. That's the main thing, because it's not about what we can do, because again, we can't do anything of our own power and of our own might, but it's only by His Spirit that the glory of God is going to be revealed in what you attempt to do. And if the glory's not there, that means God wasn't there, and that's not what we want. We want God to be in all things, right? And I want to tell people it's hard work to get to that point. It's a daily grind. It's hard work, right? It is, faith without works is dead. I have the faith for it. I believe it. I speak it. I see it. But you got to put in the work, right? Everybody that you work with has to put in the work. And sometimes it's going to be this is kingdom business, right? So I don't want people to
kingdom
think
building.
that,
Exactly.
they look, because a lot of people can look on the outside and just see, grandiose and excellence and God's glory and all the big stuff and the shiny stuff, but it is hard work. And behind the scenes, that's where the real faith has to show up. Behind the scenes. See, by the time you come to the show, by the time you come to the concert, by the time the people are shouting and dancing Natasha Cobb, the real work has been done, right? But so behind the scenes, that's where the faith resides. That's where the people with real faith work, is behind the scenes, right? Because they don't have the product already. They just have faith, which is the substance of things hoped for. So they just have this substance in their hands, in their hearts, and they're trusting me. They're trusting my husband, that what we say is going to work. And they're trusting God, the God in us, right? And so that's where the real faith shows up, is behind the scenes. And so when I work with people and I mentor women and I try to get them to understand that the real work is what you're going to do on a day-to-day basis. The real work is what you're going to do on a day-to-day basis. It's what you're going to do in the morning. It's what you're going to do. They used to, my ladies joke with me about, when I was writing a lot, I would send stuff out at like 3 in the morning. It's like, when do you sleep? What are you doing? And I said, the real work happens when everybody else is sleeping. The real work, the real faith shows up. The real faith shows up when nobody can see the grind that you put in, when you don't know if anybody's going to show up. You don't know how many tickets are going to be sold. You don't know who's going to read the book. You don't know who's going to come to the event. That's where the real faith shows up in you, right? And then at that point, it's really not about the event. It becomes about who God is making you, if you can trust him and if you can work the process. And that's where I get the joy.
And I think it's key that you say that, because a lot of people, they give up. They give up because they may not get the accolades, or they don't feel that the right people, quote unquote, are acknowledging them. But what you're saying is key, because it's the work, it's the faith, and it's the behind the scenes. It's not necessarily what you see when everything is glittery and shiny, laughing and talking or clapping, but it's the behind the scenes. And are you willing? My grandma always said, "Baby, are you willing to do the work?" And are you willing to do the work? And I think that's key. And are you willing to do the work when everything may not go your way? Are you willing to do the work when people are hindering you instead of helping you? Are you willing to do the work when maybe people are laughing at you instead of lending a hand? Because a lot of times we've been taught that, and to a point it is true that when God gives you a vision, he will give you provision, but he didn't say that he would make the way straight. He didn't say there may be some obstacles, that there may be some hills, but are you willing to do the work to climb through? And Dr. Michelle done started teaching and preaching in here, and I got excited, but let me stick to my agenda. Like, I am Dr. Michelle.
I want to add to what we're talking about. I want to add to what we're talking about very quickly, because so many times, as you said, we stop short, or we don't break through because it gets uncomfortable, right? And it's not going to feel good. It's not supposed to feel good. It's not going to feel good, right? And especially when you are, and so many times, we don't break through too because we don't want to work under people. We don't want to be accountable to anyone. We don't want to tell the truth. We don't want, God forbid you use the word submit, right? We don't want to submit. We don't want to learn. We don't want to be mentored. We don't. That's just, the flesh does not want that. Your flesh does not want to be held accountable. Your flesh does not want to sit down and listen, right? Your flesh doesn't want to do that. But if you didn't need to do that, you'd already be where you want to be, right? So, but if you're not there, that means you need to sit down and listen, right, and take some advice and get some wisdom and learn from somebody. Follow after those who've already obtained the promise, right? So that's what you gotta do, and work under somebody. I my husband and I, we employ about 80-something people, right? But so we're over people, but we're also under people, right? We will never find ourselves where we are not under someone who has obtained the promise greater than us. We will always be under someone.
That's wisdom.
Always.
That is wisdom.
Because that is going to honor that person and those people. And that's going to give us access to our greater promise. We will always be. You never get too big. You never get too smart. You never get too rich. You never get too holy. You never get too spiritual where you are not supposed to be under somebody.
That's wisdom. It is purity wisdom. So let's talk about I Am Dr. Michelle. And if you follow Dr. Michelle or you see her on social media, you've seen her. Well, I Am Dr. Michelle, and she's dropping nuggets of wisdom such as she's dropping on this evening. So what was the motivation behind what you're doing this year with I Am Dr. Michelle? Is there a vision that you're how you and your husband are merging on the educational with the character, but is there a specific vision that I see that you're doing with I Am Dr. Michelle?
Right. So just to be completely honest with you, this has been a journey because my ministry is really Alabaster Woman Ministries, which started, I guess, about 9 years ago maybe. And you can still find that online, Alabaster Woman Ministries, and that's my writing, my radio, video, just a lot of stuff. And that's really where the social media, the ministry included with social media started. And then I had a surprise baby, the one who's recovering from the flu. So we had a surprise baby, and God told me to step back. He told me, in this season, you need to be a mom, right? I'm always a mom, but he told me you need to put your energy into being a mother right now. And we were building the school, so he told me to shift a little bit right there. And now that I want to stop you right there because I want to stop you right there because you said you listened to God and He told you to shift. And a lot of times when God has given us directions, we still. I'm talking about self here now. We go on our own free will because He gives us free will because we feel that we're missing opportunity. But when you when you listen to God, you're never missing opportunity because He will rebuild. He will reconnect only if you just listen. And when you're out of season, it doesn't make a difference what you do. It's just like one of those Flintstone cars with Fred Flintstone. You can keep rolling your feet and you may not get anywhere. So it's important right there, and I hope you caught that she listened to God. Okay, go on, Dr. Michelle. Yes, and the thing is it really makes no sense to have a flourishing ministry when your home is in wrecks. It really makes no sense that I don't want to listen to. I don't want or will not listen to somebody, and you're not treating your spouse right, or you're not treating your children right. I'm sorry.
The truth.
Exactly. That's your first ministry. That's your first ministry. It would be so hypocritical of me to get on here and to minister to women and to be an educator and to build a school, and my kids are failing. My kids don't go to school. My marriage is falling apart. My children don't, my children are turned off by the foolishness in church and all that kind of stuff. That's not how God would have it. That's not how God would have it. When God created man and woman and the garden, he created the family before he created your ministry. He created the family first. Your family is your first ministry. So he told me to shift, and I shifted. And now he released me. He released me. And you'll know when he releases you, right? He released me to go back to more deliberate women's ministry, more online ministry, and he released me back. So this is just 2018, just kind of starting to get my feet back in it. It's not full blown, but he gave me Disciplined Woman, and I have been. This has been about 3 years in the making. That so many times, and I really want the women of God to hear this. That so many times we don't break through. We don't walk in favor. We are not manifesting the glory of God in our lives. It's not because we're not good people, not because we don't know the Lord, not because we don't tithe or we don't give. It's not because of those things he said. It said because we're not disciplined. It's because we are wishy-washy. It's because we are on one day and off another day. It's because we are lukewarm. It's because we are dibbling in here and dabbling in that, It's because we're not disciplined. He said a disciplined woman is going to tend to whatever I've given her in that season, and it's going to tend to it like I would tend to it, right? Well, God says, like I would tend to it, it's going to tend to it. He said that's what a disciplined one said. You're not receiving or seeing what you've been praying for, what you've been asking God for, what you've been going to the altar for, what you've been going to conferences for. He said you keep going to the conferences. You keep doing all of that stuff, and you're still not seeing it. Another 5 years of the same prayer, the same thing. He told me, he said, you're not disciplined. He said, discipline is going to be the key to your breakthrough. And I don't mean discipline for your 21-day fast. I mean disciplined for, it could be a year, disciplined for 2 years. He's not going to let you fail if you are disciplined about the spiritual principles that he gives you in the Word of God. It's not gonna happen. It can't happen. He has to come through. It will happen. One of the things that I told the ladies on January the 1st, I said, you got to sow a seed on January the 1st. You have to sow a seed on January the 1st. I don't care where you sow it, right? It just needs to be in good ground. You choose where you sow it, but it needs to be in good ground because you got to start the year off with some seed in the ground. And that's the other thing. Nothing grows without a seed. Nothing grows without a seed. I'm not talking about your tithe, right? I'm not talking about your tithe. That's your obligation, right? I'm not talking about your giving. I'm not talking about your charity. I'm not talking about something that you just give to somebody because, they're in need. I'm talking about you taking an intentional seed and putting it in good ground for whatever that thing is, that promise is that you're supposed to be birthing. That's what I'm talking about. He said, nothing grows without a seed. January the 1st, put your seed in the ground before you do anything else. Before you get black-eyed peas, before you eat some greens or some neck bones, put your seed in the ground. Put your seed in the ground. You ain't got no seed in the ground. How you expect growth?
Woo, Dr. Michelle, you just stepped on my toes. All I got to do is say ouch. I'm going to say ouch. Woo. Wow. Well, see, Dr. Michelle, I'm waiting for your webinar book and workbook to come out of there. I feel all that. You can laugh if you want to. I'm going to be hanging like, have you finished your workbook yet? When is time for the webinar? When is that Bible study? When is that conference? Because this is real talk. This is real talk, and you are, as our grandma would say, this is not proper grammar, but you sounding real good to me right now. And this is real talk, and this is what we need in the body of Christ because, charismatic ministry is wonderful. I'm not taking anything away from that, but if you don't have that word to stand on, if you don't have that that power to stand on, if you don't have the scripture and you don't have the accountability to stand on, when you get to work Monday, and sometimes you don't even make it to work, when you get in the car, when you get home, when you get that phone call or text, that's why people easily jump in and out when you're saying lukewarm, warm, so to speak, because they have that feel good. And it's all right to feel good, praise and worship. You may hear me crying the loudest. You may put me on my hand. I may tears in my eye. But I know that it takes their words to stand on. And this is so powerful. And we only have 5 more minutes. And I want people to be able to get in contact with you. So can you tell us, how can people connect with you on social media?
I am on social media. My Facebook page is Dr. Michelle, DrMichelle. That's all one word, Dr. Michelle Johnson. I'm on Facebook. And you can also go to IamDrMichelle.com, IamDrMichelle.com. If you want to look at some of my older stuff, not really, old. It's not, 10 years old or anything like that. You can go to AlabasterWomanMinistries.com, and that's AlabasterWomanMinistries.com, and you can listen to the old podcast. You can, a lot of my writings from Black and Married with Kids is up there. So you can see a lot of the, just kind of get a feel for the type of ministry that I do. I'm also on Instagram at, I believe, Dr. Michelle T. On Instagram as well. But if on Facebook, that's primarily what I use is Facebook. And then I am drmichelle.com, and you can connect with me there. You can go to a People of God Church. A People of God Church is on Facebook, and peopleofgodchurch.org is online as well. So that's how you can reach me.
I'm going to see, can I take 1 or 2 callers? I don't have enough time to take all you callers, and I appreciate everyone who chimed in and listened. I have a caller from 434-728. Caller from 434-728. You're on the air. Do you have a question or comment for any of my guests tonight? Hello? 434-728. Okay. Thank you for chiming in and listening. I have a caller from 919. Well, they automatically forget when I clicked off. I have a caller from 3. This is probably some of your people. 336-317. 336-317. You're on the air. Do you have a question or comment tonight?
Hi, I would just like to say I really enjoyed the talks. Everyone is very uplifting, and I have actually gone to Dr. Michelle's her Facebook page, and the follow tag is not available. So do you want us to hit add friend, or will you be able to have that available?
I'm not sure why it's not available, but you can click add friend, and after this call, I can go ahead and do that. So you can just click add friend.
Okay, and I do have another question.
And thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. This is for Michelle-Chavi. Michelle, I know you said you had the book.
Hold on, Michelle. Michelle, are you still on?
Yes, I'm here.
Michelle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I know you said you have a book. Is some of the stuff that you touched on tonight located in that book?
Yes, it is. Between both books, it's a little in both.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, we only have 90 seconds, and I would like to thank all my guests and all my listeners for listening. And from my heart to yours, read you later. Stay tuned. In August, I have a wonderful event, Lights, Camera, Action, where I feature a little bit of everybody in the literature world. We all have Girls Night Out, live music, paint. We're going to make desserts and make fun crafts and body items. And that Saturday, we're going to have a pajama party, a fashion show. If you're an author, you get a bitty pitch to a well-known literary agent, and we'll have information about editorials and all that good stuff for a nominal fee of $75. It includes 2 meals and an appetizer. And from my heart to yours, read you later. I want everyone to have a blessed week. Good night.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Oh, what a great audience. Let's dim the lights for this next one. Nope, too much. There it is. Gotta get things just right. Like Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Tell us what you want to pay, and we help you find coverage options that fit your budget. And now, the mood is right. Wait, the lights are back on again. Trudy, can you? And now it's completely dark.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.